How you doing, everybody? This is Fred Ward checking back in on another episode of Count Time. But this particular day, I got an amazing brother with me, Beyond Wynn, and we're going to talk about the Great Divide, right? And how that actually affect, you understand, the things that we're trying to do as far as in Ohio. So, man, I'm happy to present my brother today. How you doing, Beyond?
Doing great.
Man,
doing great.
Good. I'm glad you could take time. I know you're busy. But so, Beyond, so the work, like I was saying, with the Count Time episode, what we actually trying to do in Ohio, because we realize there's 2 million people that are directly impacted in Ohio. And we did a little research, so we actually trying to think through some of the processes of how we get our people in alignment to make change in a significant way, right? But in the process of this, we realized that there are some people that done did their time, paid their debt, their fines, their fees, and they are, when they out of prison, they don't want to look back, they don't want to focus on it, and they don't want to be identified either. So this particular show, we wanted to talk to you, get some of your insights, right? Because we know that you directly impacted too, but in no way as you're directly impacted affect you from being highly successful. So I want to just kind of get into a conversation with you first and just talk about how did the change happen for you, from being in the streets to when did you get to that point where you you know what, I'm about to change my whole transition?
It's funny because when you're in that place, when you're in the streets, you're in survival mode, but you're not thinking survival mode. You're thinking this is what I grew up around, and it's normal, and so it's normal until you just start to think. So I don't know the exact time when I really started to think about what was going on, and I started to look in the mirror. Because before that, I was looking outside of myself. It was always the white man, the government did this. And so it was always them. And then I was like, hold up. No, it's you. You the one destroying your community, the people that you feeling sorry for, you selling stuff to their parents. And so once I looked in the mirror and told myself the truth, and the truth hurt. It's a feeling associated with the truth that you could feel, and it hurt a little bit. But it's that's what's needed for change. So when I looked in the mirror, it's you the problem. Or you working with them to destroy your people. You talking about them, you can't control them, but you can control you. And so at that day, looking in the mirror and checking myself, I was like, oh, I'm done. I'm done with this. I can't be part of that. That don't make sense.
You felt like you was working. They had
I'm working
for
with
them.
Yeah, I'm no, that can't. No.
Watch
I'm out
this.
of that.
No, that's spot on. So I'm gonna tell you when the first moment I ever questioned what I thought, and I was in crisis survival mode too. I was inside. I was incarcerated in Mansfield, and I was in an anger management class where they got the hot seat. I don't know if you're up to the hot seat, but it was a hot seat. So it was about 8 of us in this anger management class, and I was in the hot seat this particular day. I'm in the middle. And I'm telling them hey man, I got, I remember when I was 10 years old, got tied to a chair, got whoopings, and I got older and I tied other people and it was a moment where, and I don't know if you ever experienced this, where you saying something and people looking at you and it make you think about what you said, right? So I never questioned that as a child going through traumatic experiences, how it actually shaped the way I look at the world and show up in it. And that was the first time that I ever questioned, because I'm it's my fault. I run through the house, I grab the belt, so me getting tied to a chair was a result of my own actions.
Right.
I never thought this ain't really natural. It was normal, right? It was normal, but it wasn't natural, right? Until I was in that hot seat. And from that moment, I probably was about 23 years old, when I realized that I never questioned that, and I could see how it actually played a role in my life moving forward in the streets. A lot of people Fred, man, Fred a gangster, but I wasn't a gangster. My dysfunctionalism showed up in gangsterism. They labeled it gangsterism, but really I'm just a hurt boy hurting others because I thought that's how it go. Right? And so from that point, I started questioning every single thing I thought about. I started questioning, like, I thought that money was the source of happiness. Cause saying my mother cried.
Me
I
too.
know, I really shouldn't have started with when did it change. We should have got into how we even came off the porch to go get the money.
Right.
My mother cried every day about bills. She'd buy a loaf of bread and I'd mess around and, make some sugar toast sandwich. I'd come home from school, I'd make about 8 toast sandwiches. And she'd be like, who ate the bread? I just bought this loaf of bread. I'm like, man, I'm getting pressured because I done ate 8 slices of bread. And, but we didn't have the money.
Right.
And so I started realizing, like, man, my mom, money, I thought every time my mom is unhappy, it's because she crying about some money. And, if I go cut some grass or something and bring her back, $40, $30, I see that smile on her face, man, that was everything to me. So I'm like, money is the source of happiness. And I thought that. So when I jumped off the porch, man, I was willing to do anything for some, well, not anything, because I keep it straight laced. But I was willing to do a lot of illegal things to get money so that I can come home thinking I'm a man-child. So I want to go back a little bit, right? Because I know you came off the porch and went and got that bread, but what made you come off the porch?
It goes back to what you said, like, coming up where we come up at, seeing, the guys with the vehicles, with the jewelry, with the girls, and seeing like, okay, this is the source they got it from. So it's like, okay, now my mind focus on that.
Yeah.
And even before that, when I was sat down, I was on one of my state sabbaticals, aka prison.
Yeah, ain't no mystery.
And I was thinking, no, it was the federal sabbatical.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking, when I was in the state sabbatical, I was thinking about how to do the same thing, but smarter.
Yeah.
But the federal sabbatical, I'm reflecting on my life, and I'm serious at this point. Yeah. And I started to think, it was the first time in my life. I'm 51, right? That was in 2010. When I was on the federal sabbatical. For the first time in my life, I connected the first initial source that got me into the streets.
Come on.
And the first initial source was my grandmother and my grandfather.
Wow.
I remember when I was like about 6 years old.
Yeah.
I had to be about 6 or 7.
Come on.
At Grandma and Granddaddy's house, Granddaddy was selling Seacos and some other, whatever they call it, stuff.
Granddad getting money.
Yeah, out the door. Had the big wooden door with like 5 locks on it.
Wow.
And he had they slide the money, and he had the beige envelopes was this little.
Yeah.
I don't know what was in the envelope, but they slide in the envelope and then put the money through the door, right?
Money coming back.
That's like all night, like I'm seeing that.
You 6
in the
years
daytime,
old.
Grandma in the basement with 8, 9 other people all with desks running numbers.
Okay.
And the guy coming to pick up the money, the young dude, his father was the person, but the young dude pull up in the Benz, got the velour, Adidas jogging suit, Fila jogging suit. He coming with the money when people hit the number and the whole. And so I'm watching that.
Come on, man. Yeah.
And so it started. Yeah. It started right there watching that.
Yeah. That's
and
amazing.
the next thing you know,
man,
I'm in the street.
That's man. So like, it's a thing. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it's a thing called adverse childhood experiences. Have you ever heard of that?
No. Repeat that.
Adverse childhood experiences. They did research of like 20-something thousand middle class white folks, right? And they asked them 10 questions, and a lot of the questions was, did you have a parent that hit, slapped you? You understand? Did you have enough food in the house? Did anybody like sexually abuse you? Did you have a parent that went to jail? Did you have a parent that had mental health issues? Did you have a parent that was alcoholic? Right? Man, I'm a 9 out of 10. Right? I'm gonna make sure you get them 10 questions. We're gonna post them actually on our website. But and when I started talking to young guys, and I asked them, once I build a relationship, and I asked them, even some sisters, and I'd be like, man, how was growing up? And I'm telling you, consistently, they show up on them aces. And they say that if you are 2 or more, that the traumatic experience that you done encountered can not only change the way your brain function, but it can actually change how you look at the world and show up in it. I'm a 9, my sister a 7. When I deal with a lot of these young guys, and man, when you say that, and violence You know, I
Right.
done seen people get murdered. I'm a kid. I seen a dude get killed, and I'm sitting there just watching. You know, like, you know, he was jumping on a lady. I'm on 90th and Cedar. He was pistol whooping a lady. Probably was his, you know, girl. Or she probably might have been a prostitute. And he was pistol whooping her, and we sitting on the porch. I remember my mother was like, "You better quit hitting that lady. I'm going to call the police." Right? And they looking, but he got a gun. He smacked it around, and the gun slipped out his hand. And the girl ran and got the gun, and he started turning, running the other way. She shot at him and then hit him in the back of his head. And that body sat there for like, man, it seemed like 5 hours, right? But the neighbors, I'm a kid. They let me come down off the porch and like gather around this. I had a nightmare for like 6 months of this dude coming down the street. It was crazy, right? But when I look back over my life, and a lot of times I tell these young guys, like, how did we form the beliefs, right? You experienced granddad, grandma getting this money, right? Obviously, you understand, I know it was some nice toys and sweets and goodies in that house, right?
Mm-hmm.
People, kids want that. And you probably seen some other kids ain't had nothing, you know, raggedy tennis shoes and all that. Not knowing that influence how you make your next move, right? And so, man, it's like, I think especially, I know what I want to share with you. It was, it's a guy that did some research called strain theory. His name was Robert Merton. So in 1930, it was a guy named Truslow Adams. Truslow Adams was the person who was instrumental in creating the concept of the American dream. But when he came up with this dream, watch this. He said that no matter what lot in life you come from, you can experience the American dream if you had two things. One, if you have a good job and a good education. No matter what your start in life was like, you could experience the American dream. That's the picket fence and all that, right? And then he said, and this is going to bring us into our next transition off that porch. It was a dude, when he said that, it was a dude named Robert Merton. He was a sociologist in 1930. He said, "You're a lie." He said, "You're a lie because you know that there's populations of people that don't have access to a good education or a good job, but still want the American dream." And he said, they gonna show up. He said, there's 5 different types of people that's gonna meet that challenge and how they gonna show up. He said, one gonna retreat and just, you know, be like the one sitting at the gas station and, you know, just getting a beer. Hey man, you got $1, this and that. Some gonna try to get away from the system altogether. I'm disconnected from America. Forget America. I'm going back to, you know, Ghana or something, right? But he said there was this one particular type called innovators. And he said an innovator was a person that wanted the American dream, but didn't have no possible ways and means to achieve it. And he said that they would do it by any means necessary, right? And when he said that, I'm like, the federal statistics say that 90% of most crimes is financially based. And I'm like, so how do growing up in the neighborhood, having limited opportunities and access to like the finer things in life, what role do you think that play with a lot of the decisions that young people make? I know what it did for me.
First of all, I think it's one of the main problems by design.
Yeah.
Like it was designed that way because just like you said a few minutes ago, you said you had these different things that you were dealing with from your childhood, you know, trauma, and people, they categorize it as gangster.
Yeah.
And so once I reflected back on my life too, I'm like, that's not me. It was like I was in, it's like I was in a movie acting.
Yeah.
Like I'm never, like, that ain't my heart to like want to hurt people. When I like, no, I was like, I was in this role that I was forced to play. Yeah. And most of us don't make it out of that role. But it's like you in a place and it's like, okay, I'm not a gangster, I'm not tough, I'm not any of those things, but I got to do this because they're going to keep bothering me if I don't do this.
Come on.
And so I'm forced to, you know, protect myself. And then sometimes it get out of, most of the time it get out of hand, but it's like the environments are designed like this across America. It's the same setup.
Yeah.
It's the same play across America.
Yeah.
And the same solution will help across America as well.
Yeah.
But it's going to take time for us to combat all of those problems because they didn't just come up with that overnight.
Yeah. Ain't no
They
mission.
came up with it like over time, collectively.
Ain't no
And they
mission.
continue to stick together no matter what's going on in their world with them.
Yeah.
They looking at us like it's us against this. And no matter what we got going on, no matter what we do to each other, we have to stay together
Yeah.
collectively to make sure that they stay down.
Like that. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good pivot because I want to know how we do it, right? So I talked about initially, right, the Great Divide. I believe that, we might have, and you're a testimony to this, and I'm hoping I am too, that we might do some things in our life based on a certain understanding, but that don't define who we are in the entirety of our life, right? We might have done that, but we not that, right? And I think that, some of my messaging to like people that done been incarcerated or might have caught a felony for whatever reason, that we can move past that.
For sure.
And the reason, and you definitely on this show because you're a testimony to that. But I want to talk about, we gave you the past. We gave you some of the, the things that we had to struggle with and all that. Got it, right? But we different now. We done changed our life. And so I want us to start talking about, because I know my pivotal points, but I want to talk about like now, because man, I really want to commend you, man. Flowers while you're alive, how you move with your kids, your daughter and your son, like bringing them into the business, man, that is like top honor.
Appreciate that.
Top honor, man.
Appreciate
You know
that.
what I'm saying? I love that, right? And I honor that, and that should be emulated, in all our young men and fatherhood, right? But so tell me, like today, like you know what I'm saying, you got some amazing stuff going on. So can you we're gonna jump back and forth,
Okay.
You're a legend in Cleveland and other parts, but we're gonna make it clear that your work is substantial, right? Can you tell us a little bit about like what you're doing now? Like, in spite of, you might have you had a federal number and a state number. But what you doing now?
Now, I'm being a role model for my kids. I was when I was coming up, and the reason why I'm going back to when I was coming up, because now we hear a buzzword about legacy and generational wealth. Everybody, they talking about legacy, generational wealth. Yeah, it sounds exciting. But for me, when I was coming up and I've watched a few people around me, their parents that was in position and they left them businesses, houses, money, and all this stuff. 5 years later, they had nothing. It's gone. It's over.
Yeah,
I have so many stories. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, to me, that's not legacy. To me, that's not legacy. Like, I'm going to go put in the work every day. I'm going to make all this money, build up this empire, and then I'm going to just leave it to the kids. Yeah. That don't make sense because I've watched people do that, and that legacy is over. It ain't no generational wealth. And so I was like, for me, legacy is me building it with my kids. Okay. Them going to look at properties with me, them going to the title company, to the closings with me, them going to sit down at the bank meetings with me.
Yeah, come on.
Like, that's legacy, because what's going to happen is all the plays that we run together, me and the kids run together.
Run the fucking play!
All the plays that we run together, if something was to ever happen to me, the kids will never forget the plays that we ran together. Yeah. They going to continue to run plays. When they had kids, they going to teach they kids the same thing that they dad taught them and did with them. That's legacy. Yeah. That's generational wealth. Yeah. Because the thing is, if you build up whatever it is, and say you pass your kids, something happened to you, you give them $1 million, but they don't understand business, they don't know how to make money multiply. If something happened to you, they're going to spend that money ASAP. It's going to be, it's over with. Yeah. So that ain't legacy, that ain't generational wealth. Yeah. And the other thing is, if you're not willing to put in the work with me while I'm here, if something happened to me, you ain't about to put in the work, you're about to spend the money.
And I see that so much. Good businesses, kids don't want it. I done talked to some business owners that like they got 80, 90 restaurants and all that, and they like, man, my kids don't want to do this, you know, and I'm
Right.
like, dang, like this good, but they like, I don't want that.
So
Yeah.
So my thing was different. I wanted to make sure that they got it, and so for me just building something and giving it to them, that ain't never make sense to me. Like it's cool if you want to do something outside of what I do. I'm gonna support it and help, but let's do it now. Don't be waiting on something to happen to me, and because that ain't gonna happen. This is my money. This ain't our money.
Yeah.
But while I'm here, whatever it is you want to do, come on, let's roll.
Yeah,
What's the
amazing.
business plan? We're gonna map it out, and we're gonna put in some work.
I love that.
That way, that's gonna be with you forever.
Yeah.
And so that's
and
how
they
I
got
look
skin
at
in the
that.
game.
Yeah.
I love it. So by count time being focused for like, we really trying to create a community and a space for people that have certain barriers that even though you got them barriers, we can lift beyond that.
Right.
Let me ask you, was it any time in your career or your life where you seen like, you know, having a felony or whatever became an impediment? And if so, how did you like move past it or pivot or transition or like make it not get in the way of your legacy?
Yeah, so it was a problem where I was feeling embarrassed about even filling out an application because they want to know, and it's like, and so what I did was
That box.
that feeling associated with that. It was another feeling behind that because my mind is like, okay, as a human being, we one of the most intelligent species on the planet.
Yeah.
That's not by mistake. So what is it that I can't do, regardless of what they say? And it forced me to create my own. So I ain't got to fill out the application.
Yeah.
So it forced me to, you know, put in the necessary work. Like when I came home from federal prison, I worked for my wife.
Okay.
I worked for my wife making about $400 a week.
Okay.
I didn't care about that.
Yeah.
Like whatever it took, because that wasn't my last stop.
Yeah.
Like I needed that. I needed that to get knocked
Step
down.
up, yeah.
Yeah, I needed to get knocked down and build back up. And I also needed that because so I could become a better steward with money.
Yeah.
See, I want a good steward with money.
Yeah.
Most of us not. And most of us think, okay, I got a couple of dollars, can't nobody tell me nothing. See, that was my problem. That's why it took me so long to get in position. Because I thought, because I got $2, can't nobody tell me nothing. No, anytime you start, anytime you start to think that you know everything because you got $2.50, that's when you put a ceiling on yourself. You stop growing, and the people that's in position to assist you, they stop talking because you know already.
You got it figured out?
You got it already.
And you don't even know it was a door that you could have went through, but you don't even see it.
Yeah, so it's like you like, so I had to stop that shit. Like I had to stop that. And so what happened was,
that's self-work.
for sure.
Yeah, that's self-work.
That's the
internal
foundation
work.
of everything, the self-work.
That's self-work.
You look the world different when you take care of this world.
I heard a few things. I got to just, because you
Go
that
ahead,
boy,
go.
you dropping jewels. I heard that when you came home, you had to humble yourself. You working $400 a week, and I know when you went, you was getting money for you went.
Yep.
And then I also heard that box that we tried to ban, where you got to put, have you been convicted of a felony, right? That sent you. It seemed like it sent you from like trying to keep going into the workforce to trying to think about entrepreneurship.
For sure. It forced me because I ain't like that feeling associated with I'm about to lie to you because I'm feeling it's like I don't want to and I gotta lie to you. So it's like, so that forced me.
The scrutiny is
that forced me because I wasn't gonna quit. See, there ain't no way that I could quit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quit trying to get into your thing on what you put together.
Come on.
But I'm not gonna quit on me.
Yeah, say that.
I'm not quitting on me.
Yeah.
And so for anybody that's listening, no matter what the situation is, first of all, we not here by mistake.
Ain't no mystery.
We not here by mistake. And if you're still alive right now, you have what it takes to win a championship in your life, because if you didn't, you wouldn't exist.
Man.
It would be over with for you.
I say the same thing.
But it's not.
I say the same thing. I just say it. I say anything that's existing on this planet Earth has purpose. Because when your purpose is done, I don't care if you 8 months old or 88 years old, you out of here.
It's over.
Nothing exists on planet Earth without purpose. Yeah, come on.
It's over.
Yeah.
When you can't help the team, it's just like in sports. When you can't help the team, you getting traded.
Yeah.
And in this life, when you can't bring nothing else to the table, help add, help multiply, the coach retires your jersey.
Yeah.
AKA, is hanging up in the Raptors, you up out of here, out of the physical, in the spiritual somewhere.
Yeah, no, this is real. No, this is amazing. So you also an author.
Yep.
You amongst many things. So tell us about what inspired you to write that first book. I got my copy. I think you got a second one out, not right?
I do. I got 3.
I'm 2 behind.
Yeah,
All right, I'm
3.
going to tighten that up.
I
Next
got
time
3.
I'm going to have my books here. But tell me about the books.
So here's what inspired me to write my first book, Quotes and Confirmations.
Quotes
and
Confirmation. Okay.
Quotes and Confirmation. Here's what inspired it. I've always had ideas of writing books, and I'm sure people listening, they've had ideas of writing books too, because they've been through something, they got something special, they got a gift, and the rest of the world need to know about it. But here's what inspired me. A gentleman on Facebook sent me a private message on Facebook. Hey, brother, I've been following you, for a couple of years. I love what you're doing, and I want to connect with you offline. Yeah. So I get the message. I don't respond to the message till like 2 weeks later. I remember like 2 weeks later, because I'm headed down to Columbus for a personal development conference. Okay. So as I'm headed down to Columbus, I was like, I got some time. Yeah. Let me reach out. So I reach out. His name is Jermaine Miller. Okay. Reach out, Jermaine. Hey, Jermaine, what's up? Get on the phone with Jermaine. And Jermaine was like, listen, I don't want to sound weird or anything. He said, but God told me that this your brother. You need to connect with him and do anything that you can to help or assist him. Come on. And I got chills when he said it, right? And the reason I got chills when he said it, because it wasn't weird. This is how we should be as black men. Yeah. We all come from the same place and have dealt with the same things and continue to deal with the same things. We should be willing to help and assist each other. I bear witness. Like it just makes sense. But it's like we some kind of way it got presented like we got to be tough and deal with each other, and be gangsters to each other.
Yeah. They talk. You ever heard that concept, crabs in a bucket?
Yeah.
They be like, man, people like crabs in a bucket. They don't want to see you successful. They don't want to. But you know what my response was? Crabs naturally is born in the sand, and they work their way back to the sea. So my question is, who put the crabs in the bucket? Because it's not a natural inclination for crabs to be in a bucket. So you talk about crabs climbing on each other and pulling each other down, but who put the crabs in the bucket? Because that's not their natural habitat, right? So to your point, okay, come on with it.
Somebody planted that seed mentally, and then others continue to share it and then multiply it. But anyway, you're right. And so I got on the phone with Jermaine Miller. He said that, man, I get chills when he said it. It's like, wow. I was like, I always felt that way my whole life, but I had to cover that up because I didn't want to get taken advantage of or appear soft. You know what I mean? So we got to have these textures and different things. And it's like, but that's not who I am. And I was like, man, this is perfect. Like, this is... And so he say that, I was like, no, it ain't weird. Like,
open to receive.
Yeah, like, that ain't weird. So he's like, I got 3 real estate brokerages in New York. This what I do, blah, 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 blah. Anything that you need, I can help you with, just let me know. Yeah. He said, I just say we start with weekly accountability calls, brother, where we get on a call every week. Anything that you got going on, like we just assist each other, you know what I mean? Yeah. That life, business. I was like, all right, cool. So a couple weeks into those Thursday meetings, I said I had these ideas about writing these books. Okay. And this is the kind of people you want around you. Yeah. People that put fire up under your ass. People that when you say something, they okay, when you gonna do it? Yeah. And so I said I had these ideas about writing these books. He said, when you gonna write it? Yeah. And I'm like, the way he said it, I was
okay.
He's like, when? Yeah. I was like,
action.
I was like, I'm going to start March 1st, and I'm going to be done March 31st. That's right. That's how my first book came about. Yeah. I started writing it March 1st. Yeah. The whole plan was simple. I know I'm great with quotes that I come up with originally. I love right? So I was like, every morning when I get up and go in the basement, I'm dedicating 30 minutes to just write, just flow. Yeah. And so I would take something like, say, like, I would use like sports. Okay. And then I would just go in 30 minutes. Right. Then I would take something like babies, because I always believe that babies are here to teach us. Yeah. Like we can learn so much from babies. Yeah. If we start to act like how we was when we was younger, we can enjoy life so much. So I started going crazy with just those things. Yeah. By March 31st, it was a wrap.
Discipline.
And that's it.
Consistency.
Consistency every day.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Done.
Yep. By the 31st, I had a
See what I'm saying?
masterpiece.
Out your head, on paper, on its way to print. Yeah.
That's it.
It's a lesson in that.
That's it.
It's a lesson in that for everybody listening, how you can keep thinking and procrastinating, talking about what you're going to do, when you're going to do it. Start now. And give yourself a timeline and find your accountability partner.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Don't just talk to yourself. Find somebody that can hold you accountable to why you ain't doing what you say do. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of jewels in this one.
That's it.
Okay. All right. All right.
And here's the other thing.
Okay.
We all have a part to play. Like people looking for a leader.
Yeah.
We don't need a leader.
Yeah.
Because the leader on front line and they can see the leader, so it's easy to easy to get rid of the leader.
Yeah.
But you can't identify 10 million people.
Man, I love talking to you.
That's on the same station. You can't, all
love
of us
talking to
on the
you.
same station.
Man.
You can't plot against
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Now you got to come to the table and talk to them.
Man, look, I'm going to tell you. I feel like I'm playing volleyball with you, right? Listen, I love to read. If you don't know about it now, I love to read. And when you said that, it's a book that came to my mind that I read. It's called The Starfish and the Spider. And it talk about decentralized organizing, right? It talk about how you cut off the head of the spider and it died. He said, well, if you cut a starfish in half, it make 2 starfish, right? And so it talk about how top-down leadership, you said we don't need leaders. It's a leaderless movement where, you understand, everybody leaders. Right? And it's an interchangeable ecosystem that actually deliver, right? Man, it's deep. The book, I gotta get it. Yeah, solid, man, solid. But yeah, man, so you start, I got a question. Do you use the same discipline for your second and third book? Did you
the same exact thing? You use the same discipline for anywhere you're trying to get to in life. Because all it is just, it's consistency compounded over a long period of time, whether it's spiritually, mentally, physically, or financially. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with money.
Yeah. That's good. And I'm going to tell you what I took away. When you said a good steward of money, I done learned that too. Because I used to be like, if I get it, I can get it again tomorrow. And I realized something. Money wasn't coming back as quick as it used to back in the day.
Right.
So yeah, that good stewardship of money, understand financial literacy, right? And understand how to set goals and how to stick with your goals and be consistent. There's a lot, man. You bring a lot to the table. We're going to do another. We're going to do another interview.
I like to do this.
Yeah. This is man.
Listen,
this is amazing. Beyond got a whole bunch more stuff that he do too, right? And also, I want to say thank you because when I be doing different stuff as my nonprofit, man, Beyond just called me like, hey, I got some stuff for some youngsters. I got a check that I want to donate for this thing you doing this. So I want to thank you for that too.
It's a pleasure.
The Kanema Foundation, thank you for being, pure to heart, right? And not just talking, but actually putting word, deeds, and some of your heart equity in the space too, right? And it goes to them kids. Man, this is amazing, man. Yeah, I hope y'all got what I got out of this interview, but I love it. But at the end of the day, I want to leave the listening audience with this. We both have made mistakes in our life, and we done paid for those mistakes too, right? Whether it's the federal or state. We realize that, having a felony conviction in America, in Ohio, is not, a badge that people wear. But just because you might have made a mistake in your life, that don't mean you have to live through that mistake for the rest of your life. I think Beyond is an amazing example, and there's others. We're going to continue to create and bring individuals like Beyond to these podcast platforms so that you will have different perspectives of how we can lift ourselves and be amazing as God created us to be. So this Fred Ward, I'm checking out for now, but I just want you to know, stay tuned. Count Time Podcast is directly, involved with trying to bring new awareness and create a community for those that might not have had a community before. I thank you, brother, for spending time with me. We're going to get you back on here and let Beyond talk about his second and third book, because I got to get the second and third myself. So, yeah, thank you.